everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 102 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I'm just logged in today, getting ready to move over some stuff. I have a pretty cool plan and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to build and do. I would like to get my mob spawners back up and running at the new base. Now I've got the auto spawner here that I was using for skeletons. I've got the corporeal tractor and all this. So this room was dedicated mostly just to wither skeletons, right? Now over here I had this nifty setup. This was dedicated mostly just to villagers. And we had a villager spawner in here, which reminds me I left this guy here. And we've got some fans blowing them into that thing and all this kinds of cool stuff. Then finally we've got this room, which was kind of a multi-purpose room. Number one spawned mobs from Cursed Earth, which then were killed to get mob essence with our grinders. But we also used it as an auto spawner room that we use the grinders to kill mobs so we could farm things like ender pearls from endermen or any other items that we needed to farm. So long story short, we had 3 different rooms with 3 different purposes, different methods of killing, different methods of pushing and pulling, different ways of spawning mobs, and a long list of mobs that needed to be spawned. Well, I call shenanigans. I think that's a lot of work. So I think what I'd like to do is build a whole new room that's going to be completely dedicated towards mob spawning, and it'll be a one-room scenario that will handle all our needs. So it'll generate mob essence, it'll use mob essence, we'll have one auto spawner for all different mob types, we'll have the ability to drop the villagers into that pool there and get emeralds. We'll have the ability to decapitate and, take care of any wither skeletons. We'll have all in one. So it's going to be a big build, and it's going to have a lot of different moving parts, obviously. But ideally, I'd like this to be a pretty awesome system that's going to be completely and totally doable. Now, unfortunately, I don't think what I'll be able to do is have the wither in the same room. That might need its own separate area. But that's okay. We'll have everything else in one room. That's the plan, at least. So I've already started moving over my AE system that I had here, the subnetwork. I'm going to set up a similar subnetwork back at my main base. So I'll need to make sure that I've got everything ready to set up over there so that I can have all the mob collected items in the same subnetwork, but still accessible from my main network. And then I'll have, the auto spawners moved over in just a minute. So I think first things first, I need to set up a room. And for that, I just want to measure. This room is pretty much the ideal size. And where's my measuring tape? Oh, that's right. I dropped into the void. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so there are 10 blocks in here. So it's a 5 across, 10 deep, and we had 1, 2, 3 blocks tall. Not too shabby. So completely automated system, by the way. I want to be able to not have to walk into the room and manually exchange the different types of mobs. So I want to have it be able to, have that automatic too. If I want to spawn zombies, or if I want to spawn endermen, or if I want to spawn whatever, we can make it happen. Cool. So I'm thinking if I need this to be 10 deep, where do I want to go? I'm planning over here, and this might actually work out. So if I had 5 across and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That might actually fit with our current setup. Nice. I could even get rid of this stuff. And then what we would need is, of course, that was 10 inside the room, right? So we need like a wall up here, which might not be bad. 1, 2, and we want it to be 3 tall, basically, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That looks pretty good to me. Now, we're going to have Cursed Earth on the ground here. So then what we'll wind up with is a 3 tall room. Cool. And that'll be 5 across. So you know what we also want is, if we want it to be 5 by 5 inside, it needs to be 7 there, right? So that looks like we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then across 10. That looks cool, right? So why don't I get started with some of the processes that I'm going to need to have in place. I'm just going to get rid of a couple of the building of this room and some things off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll set up this whole thing. I'm going to have to move these cables and such. Not a big deal, though. All right, back in a moment. Need to get more cables. Alright guys, we're back, and I've got the basic layout of the room ready to go. So first off, let's kind of lay out the basics of what we're going to have here. Let's see, can I rotate this thing? Nice. Cool. So we've got this thing running, ready to go. I guess they store all their energy and stuff, which is kind of nice. So those are the basic grinders set up. We're going to have the cursed earth laid out here. What I'm thinking is to do a drawbridge with cursed earth. So if we had something like this, so this is the entrance to the room, right? And then inside it was, let's see, did I bump this out one too far maybe? I might have. All right, there we go. That's better. I measured wrong and forgot to put blocks back here on the wall, so I had 11. So I like the size of the room. One thing I'm doing is making sure that the light from my Thaumcraft room isn't leaking into this room. I actually had to move my Thaumcraft room's lamp because it was leaking in. The light ability from this lamp can travel through walls. So with it in the center of the room here, it was actually impacting the light levels in the room back there. So I wanted to make sure, that's why I have the light level indicator on. You can see it's no longer having an effect, which is totally a good sign. Good. All right, so that's where all my cursed earth is going to be. For now, let's get ready to set this up. So what I'm thinking is the following. Let's get some lights in here so that we don't have any mob spawn problems, and we can get rid of these nifty things. So first steps first. I would like to have a few pieces of cursed earth in drawbridges. And the drawbridges are what's going to work for my villagers, obviously. So I'm going to have a similar design where villagers can drop into the smeltery, but instead of them, you know, winding up falling through stone, they're going to fall through cursed earth. So let's give this a quick test. Let's say 3, right? I think that's how I had it in the previous area. And do I have any levers on me? Probably not, because that would only make sense. There we go. Nice. Cool. So that's pretty much what we're going to wind up with. We're going to let the villagers get pushed towards that, and then we'll release it, and they'll fall through. Neat, right? So that's step 1. Now, with these deployed, I think what I'll do is just lay out the rest of the cursed earth for this area. And I'm thinking right in the center-ish of the room. I mean, it's a 10 long room, so there's not going to be an exact center, but we'll go ahead and throw our mob spawner there. And make sure this guy is set to exact copy, no. Ooh, that's one point that I forgot about. Oh, that might be a hassle for us. I'm not sure how easily I'll be able to toggle that exact copy, and I think I need it for the wither skeletons. Oh well. If, worst case, we just have to leave exact copy on all the time. That's fine. I can manage that. And then I've got some ethereal glass here, so that's neat. I'm not sure if I want to have like the whole thing of ethereal glass or not. For now, this will do. I'll fill in the rest of ethereal glass when we don't need the levers anymore, because I'm going to be doing that underneath, of course. All right, so that's an initial starting point. Let's get the grinders set up with power and everything, place to output their items, etc. So what I'll probably need are a couple interfaces. I wonder, actually. I have an idea. I haven't really tested this, but, well, let's see. Do I have any tesseracts inside my base? Let's see, where's my requester thing? I want to try this. I'm not actually sure if this will work, but if I put a tesseract right here, will it be able to accept the items? So let's see. I'm going to sell it to sending items, receiving fluid and energy. Right? No, sending fluid. There we go. Sending items and fluid, receive energy. I want to try this. So let's get another one here. By the way, this is frequency 1, right? Yep. Main power plus mob essence. So where's my mob essence tank? I probably moved it in here somewhere. There it is. Mob essence. Cool. Now we'll just have this guy set to receive fluid. That'll be good. We've already got our sending energy line going. So this thing should have full power. That's good. So now the only real test is whether or not we'll actually have an issue. So let me get some mobs in there or something. We'll be right back. So I've got this Tesseract as a test set to receive items on frequency 1 again, and it'll go into that chest. So let's see if we can get some mobs to spawn here. Oh, I hope my... oh, there we go. Yeah, we're cool. Well, at the very least, we're a little bit cool. He doesn't drop any items, though, so that's going to be kind of a bad test. I wonder if the fact that we're in a mushroom biome, though, is going to be a problem for Cursed Earth. Because so far, we're only getting these kind of guys to spawn. That might not be a good sign. I mean, obviously, my auto-spawner here will work, and I'll be able to spawn whatever I want, but will Cursed Earth be a problem with the mushroom biome? That might be the case. It might not override those rules. Oh well, I guess we'll find out in a minute. Come here, you. Alright guys, so a bit of a good news, bad news situation. The Cursed Earth does not force mobs to spawn in a mushroom biome, so we will not be getting normal mobs in here. But the Ars Magica 2 mobs do spawn in the mushroom biome, so you can see we are getting mob essence. So that's kind of a good sign. It indicates that at least we'll be able to get mob essence here, and I think that's alright. I mean, we have a ton of like gunpowder and stuff, and if we ever really get into a situation, we just throw a spawn egg in there. Alright, so next step will be to turn this off for a second. I want this to be frequency 2, and we will name this mob essence out. Cool, and you're going to be sending fluid. Cool. So that should be alright. And then over here, underneath wherever we need to be, already lost. Under here. So this mob thingy should be in here somewhere. I just have to find it. There it is. And we can hook this guy in, and we'll make him frequency 2. And he can receive fluid and energy, and in a minute I'll hook up a Tesseract to transmit energy on frequency 2. But for now, that should be at least good. Let's see what happens now. You should be able to run now. Cool. Now I just need to get a mob to spawn. I'm going to test, but I'm almost positive that the skeleton that I've got... Yeah, this is probably my wither skeleton. If I don't, and I'm going to turn you off. So, well, no, I want you on still, actually. Let's go ahead and put you in here. An exotic copy, no. We'll see what happens. We should be getting some skeletons randomly, and some wither skeletons, or just wither skeletons now. See? There you go. Good job. Kill those things. Now, if I set exact copy, yes. All right, he's out of power, but we'll have to test that in a minute. But did I get items in here? Nice. That's perfect. So I can hook up just another Tesseract behind the other one. So I'm going to need a couple more Tesseracts. How am I for those? I think I might be getting low, believe it or not. Yeah, so let's craft a couple. Might take a minute. We'll come back when it's done. Alright guys, so as we recall, we're going to want to set this thing, the interface here, to extract only. So items can only be pulled out of this nifty little interface here. We'll run this over here to you guys. I can just really tap in wherever I can. And then, let's see, make sure this thing's getting power. If I just run this into here, will that be enough for power? I think so. Yeah, now we're talking. Let's get our storage units in there. These guys are all pre-configured still from before, so that makes it nice and easy. And then we've got our access terminal. Beautiful. All our stuff's still there. What I'm actually thinking is it's going to cost me an extra tesseract, so I might as well, let's see, have them underneath for just power and stuff and not worry about the item transfer. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see, where's my other tesseract then? Cool. And then what I'll do here, guys, is this will be the green network, and this can go into the yellow network. And you guys should not interact with each other at all. And then I'll have just a couple interfaces here on the back of these guys. And we can just run some normal cable in between them. We'll run this into here. It doesn't matter if it's yellow or not. But that way, any items got from the grinder wind up inside this network. Cool? Awesome. Alright guys, now so far we haven't seen anything too crazy or new about this room, but now is where it's about to get different. We've got the transvector interface here from Thalmic Tinker. I forget if I played with this too much this season or not, but I'll show you how it works, just in case. I don't think I have, but I'm going to want 4 of these. I'm going to want some redstone. I'm going to want some lapis. And an ender pearl. Right? And then the other thing I'm going to need is 2 iron, a stick, and an order shard. 2 iron, a stick, and an order shard. Cool. Let's head on over here and put this stuff together. So I'll just drop my wand in there for now. Take you guys out, and looks like you're going away over here. Okay, so stick, order shard, 2 iron, gets the transvector binder. And if I remember this correctly, nice, we've got the transvector interface. Now what this guy does is allow you to access a block from a different location, but it has a kind of a short range. I want to say it's 4 blocks, and I'm going to check in here because I believe it actually tells you. Yeah, 4 blocks. Okay, so let's take a look. Also, I have a computer here. This is going to play a role in just a minute. So what I've got is nifty lever, all this cool stuff. Cool. What I want to have is... Oh, by the way, I put lights in here, and while breaking the ceiling, sunlight got in and started burning up the cursed earth. Be careful with that. So the first thing we want to do is shift right click on our auto spawner. That's not a transvector block, so we have to place the transvector block first. Let's place him right about here. That should be alright. Location set. And binding complete. Now what we've got here is a block that any items we pipe into or out of, you can see it's connected to the MFR machine, the auto spawner. Anything we pipe in and out of there, be it liquids, power, items, basically pretend like these 2 blocks are the same thing. So if I pipe stuff into there, it winds up in here. Let me demonstrate. If I were to, real quick, get ourselves... Do I have any obsidian pipes? I do. Cool. Obsidian pipes will, you know, let an item be dropped into them, and it'll get dropped into the inventory. So if I drop this in there, instead of being deposited into the transvector interface, it's actually deposited into the auto spawner. Nice. So that's important thing number 1. Important thing number 2. Do I have a chest handy? I'm going to try this out. We're going to see what we can come up with. So we don't actually want this. What we want to have is a chest. And this guy is going to be hooked up by way of networking cable. We're going to see if this works. If not, I might have to do it with a turtle. I might need a little bit more of this stuff, so let's just grab it. And let's see, we're also going to want modems, right? Wired modems will do, and we'll probably might need that block from Open Blocks. What's it called again? Open Peripheral Add-ons, the Peripheral Proxy. I might need one of those. So let's snag one just in case, because I don't know if I'll be able to get the modem hooked onto the chest. Going to assume I can't. Okay. Yeah, I can. So let's peripheral proxy this guy. Modem on here. Modem on here. Cool. Activate, activate, and let me show you something really cool. You ready? All right, 5-second overview about how this is going to work. If we look at the methods that are available when you wrap a chest as a peripheral. So I've got this chest wrapped as a peripheral, and we can interact with the chest in many ways. One of the ways we can do this is by getting data, storing this data in a variable. The data I want is get stack in slot, and I'm going to choose slot number 1. What this is going to do is it's going to get all the information about the item in slot number 1. In this case, it happens to be a Safari net with an Enderman in it. Now, not often, but occasionally, some important pieces of data might be available from here. If we were to do this, we can see that there's a bunch of information. We can see the item ID, what the enchantment table is, what the item's name is, what the raw item name is, how much damage it has, and in this case it happens to show us what's captured in there. So this captured information is available to us, which is really cool because it means I can write a little program like this that says, hey, go through all the stacks in that chest. The chest has 21 slots, so I'm going to go through slot 1 through 27. I'm going to get the information in that slot. I'm going to store it in a data variable. I'm going to print the slot number, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 27. And then I'm going to print what's in that captured variable inside that data array. So let's run the test program, and we'll see Enderman's in slot 1, Bat is in slot 2, Wolf is in slot 3, etc., etc. Enderman, Bat, Wolf, etc. Villager, Slime, Peck, you got it. Villager, Slime, Peck. Villager, Slime, Peck. Now, the only downside to this, and it's not even that much of a downside to be honest with you, is skeleton. Even though I know it's a wither skeleton, because of the way Minecraft is, and this is vanilla Minecraft, this has nothing to do with MFR or computer craft or anything. Vanilla Minecraft calls this guy a vanilla skeleton, even though he's really a wither skeleton in there. He's going to say skeleton. I know it's a wither skeleton. You know it's a wither skeleton. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and extend this further and say, hey, can I go ahead and do the following? Can I interact directly with this inventory? So there's an inventory right below that chest. What can I do with it? Let's find out. So we've got item interaction abilities here with this chest. We can actually have the chest push an item into an adjacent inventory and pull an item. So the inventory we want to interact with is below it, right? So let's do something like this. So we can see here that when we want to push an item, we can choose the direction of push to. I'm saying down. We can say what slot, the maximum amount, and into which slot to push. So if I say push item down and we say slot 1, let's see what's currently in the auto spawner. Nothing. If we say push down what's in slot 1, it's going to get the item in slot 1, which is the Enderman Safari net, and push it down there. Cool. Now if we want to get that item back out, we can use the pull item, which is pretty much the same thing. Down 1, 1, 1, it's going to pull the item out and put it into slot 1. Cool, right? Let's try it with slot 2. So I think this will work. Push down 2, 1, 1, and what it'll do is it'll push the bat into slot 1. Now the auto spawner only has one slot in it, which is why when I accidentally used pull item 2, 1, 1, I was trying to pull the item out of slot 2 from the MFR auto spawner. There's no slot 2. There's only one, and it's giving me that error message. When I use push item correctly, then it's pushing. So if I want to pull item, we're going to want to pull item, but in this case we want to pull from slot 1, and we want to pull into slot 2. Cool. And that should put the bat back into slot 2. Nice. So we can come up with a nifty little program here that lists all the different types of mobs available and just click on them on the monitor and have it swap positions and say, hey, grab the whatever's in there right now, put it in the chest, and put the Enderman one in there. And I don't have to do anything manually. And it's all automated. And that would be awesome. I like that plan. So I'm probably going to do a little bit of computer craft coding, but as usual, I'm going to do it off camera. I just wanted to show you guys the basics of how it works. And then I'll probably come back in a little bit or next episode and actually show you what the whole finished program will look like. Now you might have also noticed that I've got some nifty redneck cabling hanging out in my inventory here. Let's see what we can do with this stuff. Now I don't want you connecting, so hey, cable only, good. Let's run this thing cable only again. Cool. So what I'm going to do is run some of this rednet cabling up to the lights up here, and then I can do this. Let's see. Set bundled output left to colors.white. And that should turn off the lights in here. Haha, look at that. Nice. Now obviously I've got the torches down, right? So, but lights are off. And then if I set this guy to 0, the lights are back on. And I should be able to do something similar down here. So if I ran another set of rednet cabling. Oh, wait, wrong stuff. Let's, I guess, run it. Oh, I don't think I have enough. Let me go make some more. All right, now here's where things might get tricky, and we're going to have to do our best. Worst case, I just have to move this tesseract, but I'm going to try it anyway. Let's first set this thing to not interact with the tesseract at all, so cable connection only mode. Then we're going to change this guy to be orange colored cabling so that he's on a separate line and can do things differently. And let's set the output to colors.orange, and we're going to see if this thing stops kind of moving. So it's idle. See that? Idle, not moving. If we come over here and set this guy to 0 again. All right, there's a lever there. Let's do that. All right, so not idle. Let's try not to derp too badly, Dyer. Dyer derps for the win. Cool, idle. So when he emits orange, he's going to be idle. And when he's emitting 0, he's going to not be idle. Let's do something even more similar for the grinders, because I want to be able to turn those on and off too, right? Because I don't want the grinders to always kill them. I want the grinders to sometimes kill them, but sometimes we want the other thing to happen. So let's do that. So I'm thinking we'll need to hook these guys in here. And I'm hoping I can force connection mode on this thing. Let's get into bat mode, because things are getting a little bit tight. So I'm going to set these guys to magenta. There we go. And unfortunately, I couldn't connect them to the blocks up there. I couldn't get them to connect, so I think this will work. I think I can have multi-parts here. I just need to confirm that. Let's just grab a couple. I think I can cover it up with covers. Let's get some bricks. Pretty sure these are multi-parts in this version. Nope. Could have sworn they were. Oh well, maybe they're not multi-parts until later versions of MFR. Alright. I don't like that. Let me figure out a solution. Alright guys, this is like a super hacky workaround, but it works. In order to get these things to connect, the block it needs to connect to has to be a tile entity, which basically tells Minecraft this is a block that stores some kind of data, so you might want to interact with it. So RedNet cable only connects to tile entities. Here's a neat trick on how to turn any block into a tile entity. Paint it with the paintbrush. That turns it into a canvas, which is a tile entity, which stores data, as in what color or what design is on it. So now this thing connects. And when I hook up the magenta connector here, you can see these things are idle. So it's really kind of a funny, hacky workaround. It doesn't look any different from blocks, but it really is canvas. And you can see here, idle, not moving. If I come over here and turn this thing back to 0, the grinders will start working once again. Cool, right? So all this interaction and complicated awesomeness is pretty much built around the idea of, hey, we want to completely control every aspect of this spawn room from that computer. And I hoped this stuff, the cursed earth does spread, by the way, in darkness, but I seem to have plenty of it, so what? I do seem to have plenty, and it's not that hard to get, so why not? There we go. So we can now turn our grinders on and off. We can now turn our auto spawner on and off. We can now turn the lights on and off. We can now, well, not yet with the drawbridges here, but maybe I'll do that next. Almost easier than I thought it was going to be. Light blue, I think, is the color that I need to activate. Oh, let's see. I forget if it's spelled out or LT blue. Let's try light blue. Nope. Might be LT blue. Nope. Alright, it was light blue, but a capital B. Hey, look at that. All three closed, even with one connector, because the redstone is sharing its signal strength with his adjacent block buddies. Cool, right? So that covers the drawbridge. So now we're literally controlling every aspect of this room so far through this computer. We can control which of the, let's see, just fill this in. We can control which of the mobs are going to be in there once I do a little bit of programming. We can control the drawbridges being open and closed. We can turn the lights on and off. We can turn the mob spawner on and off. We can do all kinds of cool stuff. So all I got to do is write a little bit of code, probably a lot of code, to make this control program pretty neat. I want to be able to have a system where I can right click on stuff, like right click, turn mobs on and off. You know, right click, do other things. Now, the other thing I need to set up still is the beheader system. So maybe I'll set that up. Well, I'll probably do that next episode. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. So next episode, I'll set up the beheading system so that when I do decide to spawn wither skeletons, we're guaranteed to get ourselves some wither skeleton skulls. Sound like a plan? And then once everything is set up and I don't need to go in and out of this room anymore, I'll go ahead and replace this glass here with maybe drawbridges on the ceiling that extend downward and give me the darkened glass. Does that sound like a cool plan? Why are you offline? All right, got to figure out if I'm having power problems or if I knock something off. We'll be back next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.